Good morning and welcome. Happy Monday, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and I hope it finds you well today. It's been glorious here in the Valley of the Sun. It rained on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's raining today. We'll take every last drop of it. Put it this way, my golf round got canceled yesterday because of rain. And you know what? I was okay with it. Yeah. It's been a long time, and I'm so glad to see it. I'm very rarely does it rain that many days in a row here. Almost never happens. So we'll take it all. What a crazy weekend. We know who's going to the Super Bowl, the alien Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs. And then if you're a UFC fan, Conor McGregor got his butt kicked over the weekend. My kids are they're big into that one. So that was the big thing of the weekend was Conor McGregor getting beat. Don't know if you guys are fight fans, and this is UFC, so this is not boxing, but actually probably better than boxing in my opinion. But nonetheless, there was a lot of activity this weekend. Now we're going to have the Super Bowl coming. Very interesting. I didn't see any players kneeling at the national anthem. I did watch. I'll admit, I did watch the Bucks-Packer game, and I was happy to see that. I watched very, very little of the Bills-Chiefs game after the Bills did not come out of the locker room, and apparently that's what they had been doing all year long. They just stayed in the locker room for the national anthem. So I said, okay, well, great. You want to stay in the locker room? I'll watch something else, and I did it gladly. So there you go, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com, and just so many things going on now. We're starting to get the flavor of the Biden administration, which is we're going to tell you we want unity, and then everything we do, and I mean everything we do, will be just the opposite. Matter of fact, Ray Dalio was out over the weekend, another one of those guys I tell you to follow, talking about just that. It's incredible. It really is to me that we have lost any semblance of compromise, any semblance of really, emotional intelligence. This is everybody so far into either the left or the right. And I mean, it used to be the vast majority. The vast majority were kind of in the middle. Hey, I'm left, but I'm just a little left, right? Or I'm right, but I'm just a little right. Like maybe the difference between a Democrat and Republican had to do with being a little more fiscally conservative, and I hate to say it, but abortion, right? If you're pro-life, you're on the right. If you're pro-choice, you're on the left. But by and large, most people were fairly close. Not anymore. Not anymore. And it just seems like they are hell-bent on delivering that spike right down there and just letting them know, nope. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to say unity. I mean, that's all unity, this unity, and then everything they do, anything but Joe Biden is the executive order president of the world. I mean, you can't even keep track of them all. Bernie Sanders, he's probably the happiest guy on the planet. So you already know. You already know how much trouble we're in. If Bernie Sanders and the squad and AOC and Pelosi, sure, they're happy. They're as happy as can be. I think Wall Street, they haven't figured it out yet, but they're starting to. right? They're starting to go, wait a minute. You know, this isn't the Joe Biden I know, right? They're trying to go back and say, well, Joe Biden 20 years ago, Joe Biden 15 years ago, Joe Biden 30 years ago, Joe Biden 10 years ago, Joe Biden 40 years ago. Joe Biden's lost it. He will be the least seen president in the modern era. And, you know, everyone, oh, no, he's a good guy. He's this, he's that. He doesn't have the faculties. It's plainly obvious. And you know what? The rest of the world knows it as well. Just follow the money. You know, that's what I like to do. Today, on this episode of the Patriot Trading Group, we're going to follow the money. Where is the rest of the world putting their money? In other words, when they're investing outside of their country. And I don't care if you're from Mexico, if you're from Russia, if you're from Germany, Great Britain, France, Canada, wherever it may be. Where are they putting their money? For decades and decades, that answer has always been the United States. Not that they wouldn't put money other places, but they put the most of their money there. Not anymore. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour here on this Monday. Wow, it's the 25th already, man. It is just flying by. You know, and we're trying to figure out, you know, what's going to happen as the debts pile up, right? We know. We all know. Right? We're playing on a string here, right? We've got a situation where, as Janet Yellen probably said it big, I don't know what else to do. Right? Well, what did she say? She didn't say it like that. It's the smartest thing I can think of, which is, hey, we're already kind of screwed anyway, so why not go big, right? And that's exactly what's happening, and I think the rest of the world has been taking notice, and we know this, right? We know we've been watching the dollar, right? The dollar can't rally. It lost 13% of its value last year, probably on pace to do something similar again this year. And I think for the foreseeable future, we've got the monetizing of U.S. debt. The Democrats already trying to get rid of the filibuster. Very important. If they are successful, which I don't see how they're not going to be, because you don't need 60 votes anymore. You used to need 60 votes to get rid of that. They changed that. And I expect them to do it. And then at that point, nothing's stopping them. But let's look at, what do the rest of the companies of the world think about the United States? According to, this was out of the Wall Street Journal, foreign companies turning their backs on the United States and taking advantage of China's booming economy and superior management of the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, as President Trump so eloquently put it, the China flu, which, if you ask me, it was made in the lab in Wuhan. It wasn't spread by bats or some other animal. And I think we're never going to know with certainty that is true. But if you turn on China's mainstream program, you know what China's telling the world? Well, at least telling their people that we created it. Yeah, that's what they're saying. And that we tried to give it to them. and that we created it in our lab, brought it there, and that all of our vaccines, that it's all a hoax, right? That the Pfizer vaccine doesn't work, the Moderna vaccine doesn't work, but that's what they're saying there. Direct investment in the United States by foreign companies plummeted 49%. So it almost fell in half to $134 billion. That was it. And you got to remember, a lot of these companies are foreign in name only, right? We know, right? The tax shelter game type stuff. So I wonder how bad it really is, right? If you take out the of the $134 billion, how much of it was this tax shelter stuff? Well, we got to say they're foreign. They're really not a foreign company, but we got to say they are. My guess is a lot of that number. According to the data released yesterday at the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, by contrast, direct investment in China rose to $163 billion. So now, just quick math, China attracted $30 billion more from foreign companies than the United States did. And my guess is this year, that number is going to be even larger. 2020, the first year in history that direct foreign investment in China overtook the United States. And again, for all of you doubters out there, I've been saying it, and I've been saying it for a long time. This isn't a trade war. This isn't an economic war, really. I mean, it's being fought economically. This is a war for the next superpower of the world. China wants to be that superpower. And now the rest of the world, guess what? They've taken a foothold. You know what? No one told us. Way back when they were talking about NAFTA and GATT and free trade. How do you like free trade now? It's the dumbest thing I ever heard of, free trade. Absolute idiocracy. Yeah, it may have been great for debt. May have been great for bankers. May have been great if you wanted to be a globalist company. And that's exactly what they wanted. Listen, it's so simple. Do you not see it yet? We have become enslaved to mega companies. Right? Where do you got a bank? Got a bank at a mega bank. Right? Got a bank at a mega bank. Look at the mega corporations we have here. Now, when you talk about great American companies now, there's only a handful. All the rest of the stocks that are listed, they're just debt machines, dying breeds. Right? We've got, you think you've got more and more choices. We actually got fewer. Fewer and fewer choices. What's so funny is we had to buy a printer and some stuff here at the office, filing cabinet, blah, 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 some things that we needed here. And everyone's talking about the great ink shortage. Right? I'm like, what? Ink shortage? Yeah, there's shortage of this, shortage of that. You go to the grocery store and all the empty shelves and all that stuff. And, oh, yeah, it's COVID. It's not COVID. You have no choice anymore. And nobody told us. Right? At first, we kind of knew, hey, okay, they're telling us we're going to sell the Chinese all this stuff. Didn't take us long to figure out that was a lie. right? Really, all they wanted to do was open up factories over there and close the ones over here. See, but it doesn't end there. It didn't end there. It kept going. In China, there's no political unrest. Well, if there is, you get sent to retraining camps, right? It's kind of funny. It's similar to what they're talking about here now, aren't they? Oh, yes, if you were a Trump supporter, you need to go to re-education camp, like the Chinese do. Right? The Chinese government more than happy to pick the winners. And if you get too powerful, ask Jack Ma, right? Alibaba's president. You get too powerful, guess what? Yeah, you're going to go away for a little while. And now, for the first time in history, foreign companies have decided, you know what? I'd rather do business there. I'd rather do business in China than the United States because they've got a choice. And this is really the evolution that we continue to talk about. How do you really think this is going to play out? Well, you think this happened on accident? China now runs the world's largest trade surpluses, right? We talked about that last week. Hundreds of billions of dollars leaving not just our country, other countries of the world going to China. Today, for the first time in history, foreign companies sent more money to China than they did the United States. And they said that this drop-off started way before the pandemic. And see, this is the problem. They'll tell you, oh, it's COVID, COVID, COVID. It was already happening. Let me give you an example of how. Just back in 2015, not that long ago, the United States had $440 billion come in from corporations. It's fallen every year since, and like this year, down to $134 billion. Essentially, we've lost 75% of foreign investment into this country in 5 years. 5 years! We talk about how do you go bankrupt, right? Oh, well, we go back. It was gradual. Right at first, we were able to make all our minimum payments, right? And then, we were able to make them, but a couple of them we had to pay a little late, but we were able to get it done. And then, a little while longer, a few more of them had to be paid a little late. And then a little while on, now some of them aren't getting paid until, we're a month behind. Or then a little while, a few more are a month behind. Then a couple gets 2 months behind, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're broke. This is what's happening. And you know what? Look at what we've done. Look at our financial situation. Would you invest here? Would anybody? Seriously. Well, you don't think a 10-year note yielding, 1% or less, right? Because it's been less a lot, but 1%? Even when you say, even your ridiculous way of tracking inflation is what? What did they say we're at? What, 1.8%? Wait, let me see. You're saying your currency is devaluing by 1.8% and rising, by the way. But you only want to give me 1%. Oh, yeah. Let me get my hand up for that one. Oh, please, U.S., can I give you some money? See, and this is the problem. The laws of economics didn't go away. The laws of banking didn't go away. Any of you out there that don't think this is happening, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. Right? Modern money theory that we could just create as much as, but that's ridiculous. Because if that was the case, what are we arguing about? $600, $1,400, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. Who cares? That's why. Don't worry. What could possibly go wrong? Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Their demand again, just crushing it. News out of Turkey over the weekend announcing Turkey's going to buy 100 metric tons of gold a year for the next 5 years. Get ready. There's a reason. Right? And you think about, why are all these central banks bringing their gold home? Why are they all buying gold? There's a reason. Why are all of these foreign companies not reinvesting in the United States? There's a reason. Right? We talked about China already. They consume more stuff than anybody. Now, technically, in dollar terms, they haven't passed us in GDP yet. But within the next, I don't even know, less than 5 years, they're going to be number one. They're going to be number one. How did they get there? Because we gave it to them. But so Apple's stock price could go up, right? So we could have cheap stuff at Walmart. We gave up our economic power for that? And the answer is yep. Yep. Now, granted, we didn't give it up. And, of course, when they told us about free trade, see, they knew they could create more debt. Really, that was a lot of things behind it. Bankers love that. How do banks make money? By making loans. Well, now, bounce check fees, right? And using the wrong ATM. In the case of Patriot, because I put too much cash in the bank. Yeah, you heard me right. And everybody is getting ready to hedge themselves. What is Turkey hedging itself against? Right? What is it? Why did Germany bring all that gold home? It was overseas for 100 years. Right? Why did the Netherlands do? Why did Poland start buying gold? Right? And the list goes on and on and on. And the answer is they already know. The fiat money most widely held, the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound sterling, is all getting ready to go away. We're getting ready to usher in a new number one. And I don't know that we can stop it now. It may be too late. I mean, Trump tried. Let's face it, Biden, he's just going to make it worse. You know, look at my end of things. I have no circulated 20s, not one. I don't have any circulated 10s. I don't have any circulated 5s. I don't have any VF 20s, 10s, 5s. I don't have any XF 20s, 10s, 5s. Right now, the first grade that there's any gold available at all. There's no gold eagles, right? There's nothing. or AU. So today we're running all of our 20s at 21.65, which is the price of circulated 20s. But everyone's going to get AUs, which stand for almost uncirculated. Right? These are going to be, a little nicer looking. Not that, the problem, what the stuff we sell is great, right? It's all perfect. It's beautiful. But this is going to have a few less digs on it, right? It's going to have a little more shine to it. And if we run out of those, right, well, then you're going to buy graded gold. I mean, that's just how it's going to work. It's been unrelenting. And everybody in the world, it's not just here. You think what, the Americans are the only ones doing it? You think Donald Trump supporters are the only ones buying gold? You're nuts. But when a country, it's one thing if Russia says they're buying 100 metric tons or China's buying 100 metric tons. Turkey, 100 metric tons a year for the next 5 years. Which just tells you, kind of gives you an idea of the timeline that we're dealing with here, right? And we're the same timeline I've been telling you about. And it's something where when you just follow the money, it's either coming in or it's going out. And the bottom line is we are in this pattern. And it was slow at first, and now it's just picking up steam of more and more. We used to talk about the trade deficit, right? That's all. Every trade deficit, that's money leaving the United States and never coming back. At least before, it used to leave, but the foreign companies would come back and at least reinvest some of it. Right? Now they're barely reinvesting it at all. They said that the areas most prominent in foreign companies investing in China instead of the United States, wholesale trade, financial services. Excuse me? Yeah, you heard it. Financial services. We trust the Chinese government more than the U.S. Oh, and manufacturing. Not to be outdone, international mergers and acquisitions, as well as sales of U.S. assets to foreign investors. That fell 41%. So it was pretty much a clean sweep across the board. Foreign and direct investment in India also skyrocketed. Now, they still got a way to go. In 2014, they had about $25 billion in this type of foreign investment. Last year, up to $57 billion. So about the same time that we've lost 75%, India's doubled itself, more than doubled itself. China's now surpassed us. They said global brands like IKEA and others helping India grow. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Gold just turned back to positive territory here, 1854, almost 1855. The Dow's down a couple of 100 points. We got a Fed meeting this week. More BS, right? Let's see how much they're going to shovel this time. Tell us how, don't worry, we're going to stay the course. Yes, and we're not going to do anything. We're not going to taper. Please. We're nowhere close to being in a position where the central bank could buy less debt. That's ridiculous. The fact that they say it and insult our intelligence. And of course, what does the mainstream media do? Oh, yeah, well, they're talking about it. No, they're not. They wish they were talking about it. You know what they're really talking about? Hey, when this thing blows up, when this bubble pops, are we going to be ready, right? Do we got our digital Fed coin in place? Are we going to be able to sell it to the public? Right? We're going to wipe them all out. We're going to have just a very few uber billionaires. That's what we got now, really. I mean, really, when you think about the Wall Street, what is the rally? Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook. Throw. I guess we could throw Netflix in there, right? Think about movies. Well, hey, let's face it. When no one leaves their home, you better have something to watch, right? I mean, that's it. Who else? Well, I guess Walmart. I forgot them. My bad. And you're sitting there and you're watching and you're seeing and you're following the money. This isn't a new phenomenon. This didn't just start. This has been going on for a long time. I mean, we haven't run a trade surplus since 1973. How's that possible? How's that possible? Remember when, if it was foreign, it was crap? Remember? I mean, you bought Italian shoes because those were pretty good. The Italians could make the shoe, right? They can make the pasta. They can make the shoe, right? And maybe you bought French jeans, right? Or a high-end wine, a Cuban cigar. Of course, those are banned, but, they may have Swiss watches, right? They'd have an item. But everything else, if it was made, it was terrible. We literally dismantled the equipment that we used to make stuff, put them on boats, and sent them to China, and then gave them the blueprints, gave them the specs to everything. Now you don't even know. Right? Everything you buy is made from China. You don't even think about it. When's the last time? Oh, it's made from China. This crap. How do you think that happened? Listen, I'll tell you how it didn't happen. The Chinese didn't become great manufacturers. That's not how it happened. We gave it to them. We always said one day we're going to want it back. Well, guess what? That day's coming really quickly. AU $20 gold pieces, and I'm going to tell you right now, I've got 70 total. I don't know. They don't even tell. I don't know how many are Liberties, how many are Saints. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Same amount of gold. At $2,165 at 800-951-0592. Gold Eagles are weeks away. Silver Eagles, as we told you, 4-week delay in growing there. Remember when we started, it was 2 to 3 weeks. So those of you that ordered in mid-January, your Silver Eagles will hopefully get here sometime next week or early the week after. Those of you that are ordering in later January, it's going to be past Valentine's Day, most likely. By the way, to give you an idea of how great of a price that is on these AUs, they're $2,230. normally. So you're saving $65 an ounce by procuring them today. Here's the deal. The wholesalers don't have any of the lower-end gold. They're putting the higher-end gold on sale. Take advantage. AU $20 libs save $65 a coin, $2,165 at 800-951-0592. As today we followed the money today, and it just was a clean sweep for China, wasn't it? Right? Largest trade surplus ever in history. 2020, China. Largest ever in history. Never. I mean, it approached $1 trillion stinking dollars just in trade surplus. First time in history they've surpassed the United States in foreign company investment. And listen, by about 20%, they passed us. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. Wow. Woo. AU 20s, 2165. By the way, I'll get that up on the website as soon as I can at 800-951-0592. Call, place your order. Just tell Brooke or Brittany, I want the special. They'll take care of the rest. Or here, I'll get it up as soon as I can. I'll put it up on allamericangold.com, and you can order online that way as well. And like we said, listen, there's no bait and switch here. There's none of that stuff. No commission salesman. We're not going to talk you out of it and try to get you to buy some, quote unquote, rare coin or this, that, the other. That's not what we do. Metals plans, they got to talk about it. January is the start of the new quarter. We have had record metals plan signups in January. This plan is huge already. But we've had a 10% increase in the plan in January alone. And listen, I'm just going to be brutally honest with you, right? If you're in the plan at $100 a month, that gets you $300 a quarter. Hey, it's probably going to be junk silver. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. There's the only gold coin you could get would be a 10th ounce if they ever had any, which they don't. So, that's what it's going to be. The more you put in, the more chances you can have to get other products. But here's the thing, even at $100 a month, it's great value. Here's the deal on the metals plan. If you want to buy products at the best price at the time, go to the metals plan. You don't have to worry about the special today or tomorrow. We buy in volume, and the volume is it's huge now. The metals plan volume is absolutely huge. I mean, let's face it, it takes us 2 weeks just to ship it all. And the rate it's growing, it's probably going to take a month by the time it's all said and done. But we'll get it out there. 4 deliveries a year. Go to allamericangold.com and click on that metals program icon, and you can get all the details there. Or just give the girls a call, and they can walk you through it. But if you want to get in, do it now. Get in. Get a January payment made, and then that way we'll get February and March covered, and you'll have a full quarter before you get those shipments in the beginning part of April. 800-951-0592. Both gold and the Dow is now down just under 200 points. It was down about 350 points earlier in the day. Gold has now gone positive, 1855. Silver's coming back as well now. So silver down about 8 cents now, $25, about $25.50 as everybody's starting to kind of figure out this unity thing is anything but unity. The Democrats are getting ready to really blow up the deficit, and then we'll see what Jay Powell has to say on Wednesday. And I guarantee you this. there's going to be no slowdown in the amount of debt being monetized by our central bank. It's why the rest of the world is turning to China. It's why the rest of the world is announcing massive gold purchases. Get you some today. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Everybody take care. God bless. We'll be back tomorrow.